to know you a little bit. All right. Okay. So how long have you been fair coordinator?
I actually started in 2017, and a friend of mine had said, hey, they're hiring out at the fair office for a receptionist. And I said, okay, great. And I came out and interviewed for it, and they said, you'll work 8 to 5. You'll get lunch off from noon to 1. No weekends or evenings ever, even during the fair.
Perfect job.
Perfect job. And I got it. And 2 weeks later, the lady who had my job, she resigned. So I've been here ever since.
And the rest is history, as they say. So
that was 6 years ago. So that was in 2017. Ago. So this is my 6th year, 7th fair.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That is, I can't imagine having your job, quite honestly, because being out here like we've been, all the cogs that have to align correctly to make it run.
That's exactly what I always say. It's a perfectly designed puzzle, and I take absolute zero credit. I don't know if it's just through evolution or if it's someone really brilliant sat down at some point in time. But there is nothing out here that's more important than anything else. No show, no person, no anything. And it takes literally hundreds of volunteers who do their part, and it just all keeps going. And if we have one thing that changes, and we realize that. So after my first year here, the one request I made was, let's just repeat exactly what we just did, because it took so much learning. The very first board meeting after that, our livestock superintendent, Philip Shackelford, stood up and said, next year we're going to a 10-day fair. I could have killed him, because every change you make affects a lot out here, and not having a full grasp, it really was an undertaking to get to a 10-day fair.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't understand. And like I said, I didn't understand, and I began to see, like even when we were doing the filming and stuff, how it all runs so well. Everybody comes in, everybody starts working, the kids come in, they do stuff. And I mean, it's just amazing to me how well it works.
And that's it, is I just try and stay out of the way.
Yeah. Well,
let me do my little part and I stay out of your way.
I was going to say, and really what's bad is you almost would have to, I would think, because once that ball starts rolling, if you step in, you're going to get flat.
Well, and there's so many people who, I didn't grow up here at Austin County. I didn't come out here to the fair. When I first got hired, I knew where the beer barn, the carnival, and the rodeo and concerts were. I had no idea about so much. And there's people out here who they've forgotten more than I'll ever know about this fair. And they have history, and they've tried different things, and there's a reason they do things the way they do. So it's real important to, while you're trying to improve everything, to not get in your own way.
Right. And I know that my dad used to come and show at the fair.
Oh, really?
And he's almost 80. So that's been a while. And my mother tells the story, if I can tell it, that he had several heifers that he was going to show. I guess in the pen of heifers or whatever. And of course, he's only one person. So he had mother and 2 of her friends, and he showed them how to lead those heifers to do it correctly so that they could show them. And I always thought that was funny, because mother, she likes animals, but she's not a huge animal fan. And she said her friend loves animals, and she said they were laughing because they had that heifer in the back of the car, and her friend was just hugging and petting her and kissing her and stuff. And so I said, well, I'm a little more on the love animal side, so I have to admit that one. But so in all your years, what is one thing or 2 things that you're the most proud of?
Of course, the one thing that always stands out, and again, I take zero credit for it, but I'm just so proud to be a part of it, is every year that I've been here, our youth auction sale has gone up each year. And so last year we were over $2.5 million.
Okay.
That does include our Lot 100, which we started 2 years ago. And that's a little bit of a funny story, is we had heard about other fairs where they would do an auction for their scholarship to raise money for their scholarships. And so I had one of our executive directors came to me, and he said, Kim, I've got an issue. And I said, okay, what? And he said, I've got a heifer that can sell, and I've got a steer that can sell, but this child has to choose one of the others. And I have nothing to do with this steer. We'd like to donate it to something. So we created literally 3 or 4 people at a table in my office. We created this lot 100, and it was going to auction off that steer. And whoever did the first initial highest bid, they actually got the steer. But then we would allow people to match it, and all that profit would go to the scholarship fund. And I don't think we ever even talked about exactly how much we hope to make off of that. But in my mind, I'm thinking if we make $20,000 off this,
Sure.
that's awesome, because, we give away about $80,000 in scholarships every year.
And that's
And so, that would be a great little fundraiser for us. And oh my God, Shelley, it started, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say the highest bid was $20,000. And then, so that was the winning bid. And there was, does anyone want to match it? And hands started going up and going up and going up. And then it was 10,000, and then hands, and then they went down to 5,000, and hands and hands. If I recall correctly, that first year we raised $170,000 for our scholarship committee. And our chairman, Stanley Jackson, he and I and Ricky Huff, which we were the ones who had kind of come up with it, we were all standing to the side, and Stanley turned around and he had tears streaming down, and I had tears streaming down my face, and Ricky was teary, and we just could not believe the generosity of our buyers. And that is the greatest thing about this fair, is there's so many people who come to that auction, and they want to be sure that every lot all the way down makes a good amount of money back off for their investment with these kids. And then we have an add-on program where any kid who showed in our livestock shows, whether they made sale or not, you can donate money toward them so that it helps offset their costs. And some of these kids make thousands of dollars in add-on money, and they never even made the sale. And so I think that's probably the thing I'm most proud to be associated with the Austin County Fair about is, and there's so many things, but the amount of money that through our events, through the sale, through the add-on program, through the scholarship program, that we're able to give back to kids in our community, there's not another thing here in Austin County that matches that.
Well, I was going to say, we were talking about the generosity and the kindness and stuff. And one of the things, we were privileged enough to tape like the bucket calf and the champion drive and all of those things. And if Greg, if you could pull up the champion drive for us. And we were talking about how well the teenagers, who usually get a bad rap, teenagers, they say, oh, they're teenagers and they're mean and whatever else. And we were just astounded at how these children, and they are children, the teenagers, they're children, how they helped their fellow human beings with special needs, and never, it was like they didn't notice. People always say, oh, well, they noticed nothing. And like this particular part of the video, they were showing rabbits, and I was just astounded, how you could see the mentors and the little ones, and they were looking, like, gee, what to do. And, they showed them all the things, and these children who may, at some point be able to show, and they may not. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they were able to do this. And
I think, I'll tell you, I think that our livestock kids, our exhibitor kids, the kids who participate as mentors, and that's it. To be a mentor, you have to be someone who's either an FFA or 4-H. I'll put them up against any group of kids. I feel strongly that we have the best of the best. And I think a lot of it, when you get involved in livestock shows, it is a family investment.
Yes.
There is no way that a kid can just go off and do this by themselves like they may be able to do other extracurriculars. It requires families. And just that close-knit bond that those families form helps those children to, I just feel, be more sympathetic and be more empathetic, and just to be really great overall people, and to learn to give back to the community, and to know that they are blessed. And I feel like that's what most of our events teach. And since I've been here, I've had the opportunity to judge scholarships for other county fairs. And usually the prompt has something to do with, tell me, what have you learned through showing at your county fair? Never, not once, not ever in all these years has a kid answered in the scholarship thing. Oh, it was when I won my grand champion banner, or when I got paid $20,000 for a whatever. Every single one is about relationships, is about a hardship that they had and they had to learn how to overcome it, about spending time with their grandpa in the barn, and now grandpa's not there anymore and they had to go back in and do it again. I mean, those are the life lessons that our kiddos are learning here day in and day out to get here.
I was going to say the gentleman who judged the bucket calf, I've forgotten his name, but he and I were just chit-chatting as I was taking pictures, and he said, you know, this is the way to raise kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's absolutely 100%.
I saw one of the kids one year, and it said, they had a T-shirt on, and it said, were you born in a barn, or were you raised in a barn? And it said, yes, sir, I was. And I think that's perfect. I mean, my kids were not showers, so I certainly don't mean that against any other thing. Yeah. These are the kids I get to see on a daily basis, and they're pretty phenomenal. And you come to our Queens contest, and you listen to those young ladies and their answers to those questions, and it can just, wow, we're going to be okay because we have a great group of young people coming up behind us.
I was going to say that's what amazed me too, is that I was taking pictures, and how many of the queens actually are out there doing it. They are not just pretty princess. I mean, they're beautiful girls, but they also have that inner beauty with the way that they work with the children and, you know, things like that. Well, and I was
also really proud of some of our Queens contestants this year. They went and they would get businesses to buy tickets, and then they went and donated them to the janitors at their school, or the Boys and Girls Club of Austin County, or, different organizations. And wow, if you're a business and you're not going to use your tickets, that's a great place. Let's give this to people who may not otherwise be able to come out.
Exactly.
And I thought they were real creative, a lot of our girls, and I was real proud of them.
Yeah, they were very amazing. Okay, so let's go back to a little more technical before we wrap this up, because I tend to get long-winded. Give us some of the areas that you're responsible for.
Generally, I handle on the day-to-day basis all of your corporate sponsorships, your major big corporate sponsorships. So every award that we give out here is sponsored some way, but each committee handles that. They'll have somebody within their committee that goes out and gets that. And so I handle the billing part of that, make sure it gets turned into our bookkeeper, all that type of stuff. But like our major corporate donors, the people you're going to see up on the archway or on the sides of the buildings, that's really mine. And I appreciate those folks so much because they get a 2-foot by 2-foot sign. They're very generous.
Hey, yeah.
And so I handle a lot of that. I handle all of our advertising. So any of the newspaper articles, the website, I coordinate that with a man by the name of Michael Hunter, who generously donates his time to put together that video for us. We started working with Boyd Pohamus. We've had Boyd for several years back in the rodeo. And one year, if you're familiar with Houston Livestock Show, he's the voice of Houston Livestock Show also. Oh, okay. And so we're blessed to have Boyd be affiliated with our rodeo. And one year I just asked Ricky, hey, do you think Boyd would do our radio ad? And Ricky said, let me ask him. And he's just been wonderful. He records it on the road for us, sends me a voice memo. He's just really, really great for our ads. So I handle a lot of that. And then any issues that come up, usually it touches my desk first. And then we just burst it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, but you're very good at it. And every time that I've come through that office, nothing but a smile, kind words. Sweet. So it's been
I love
wonderful.
What I do. I'm very, again, proud to be associated with something that gives so much back to children. It gives to our community. I do have one little funny story. Is about 3 months into me being here, and a lady who is still involved with this fair, so I will not say her name. She came and sat in my office, and she goes, Kim, can I offer you a little bit of advice? And I said, okay, yeah, sure. And she said, best thing you can do is get on out of here. She goes, you don't understand how big of a job you're getting. Oh. And I went home to my husband and I said, Mike, what do I do? I can't let down our whole community. I can't let down all of our exhibitors. And he was like, we'll figure it out. Somehow, some way, it'll get figured out. And really that year, all the directors, all the volunteers came by and was like, what do you need? And I'm like, I don't even know what I need. But
I don't even know what to ask
help,
for.
But help. And that's how Carrie came to work for us. She and I've known each other since we were in elementary school, or I guess junior high. And I called her and I said, I don't know what you're doing, and I can't train you, and I really have no idea what to do. But if you'll come grab something and figure it out, we need some help. So, so it's just a really great organization to be affiliated with, and I'm really proud to be able to represent it, and it makes me happy. And of course, we bring in 24,000 people to a county of 29,000. Wow. Not everyone's going to be happy all the time, but overall, I hope that you've had a good experience here, and that with time you can go, that was a really great thing that we did.
Well, I can say as a person this is my first Austin County Fair, it has been absolutely spectacular. And I think...
And we haven't even gotten started yet.
I haven't even really gotten started. Exactly.
It's going tomorrow.
I've actually wandered down the fairway and, looked at the goodies there. So when you feel a little stressed, you just give me a text message and I'll race right down with a funnel cake or a corn dog.
No, I can't.
Maybe a fried Oreo. What you do is you just walk a little extra.
That's it. Go up the hill.
But anyway, well, I am so pleased that you came in to talk to us.
Thank y'all. We're so excited to have Austin County News Online out here. This is just another step change that we're trying to grow with the county, grow with our exhibitors. If you come through, if anyone comes out, you're going to see our barns are packed. Our shows are growing exponentially. And that's as our livestock superintendent, Philip Shackelford, says, it's a church problem. It's a good problem, but it's a problem. But we're working on it. But this, I believe, is a real great next step in us being able to reach out to our community, and we're just thrilled to have you here. We appreciate Jim Pursley with Cliff Jones giving y'all a place here to be able to interview our kiddos, and y'all giving a voice to our kids who win and participate, and we're excited to have y'all here.
We're exceptionally pleased to do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Kim Quinney.
Thanks all.